we have a pig roast, and his support is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Bill. Let's give a huge, big billing, Yellowstone County, Big Sky appreciation to Carol, Tommy, and Bill. To Bill, Mayor, and Tommy. I got sidetracked a little because I looked at the expression on Tommy's face and he's a little bewildered about all this. But let's thank you, Mary. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Bill, for everything. Thank you. I really have just two messages. One, I know you know this, but it's just what a great guy Bill Kennedy is. It's amazing. Just stop to think a little bit. Bill is everywhere, not just Yellowstone County, but around the country, for Yellowstone County. Just think of the list. Number one, when the tornado hit the metro, Bill was there. He's the first one there to help the metro. When the commission was put together to save the metro, Bill was there. Shiloh, that's $9.5 million. Bill was the one that said, we need that Shiloh interchange completed. Veterans Cemetery out at Laurel. Bill, that's Bill put that together. Bill's even, I understand, it's just big. I understand Bill's even putting together a wine business. There's no stopping him. He's done so much for Yellowstone County. Mentioned the courthouse, Shiloh, cemetery, Metro, floods. When the floods hit, Bill was there. He's there for Yellowstone County. Drought, Bill's there. I don't know anybody who's done more for his or her county than Bill Kennedy. In fact, a 3 days ago, somebody walked up to me and said, you know what? Bill Kennedy is by far the best county commissioner that Yellowstone County has ever had. I knew he was right. That is true. Now, I've been home about, several days, close to a week. In a couple of weeks, I'm going on a trade mission to New Zealand and to Japan. I know when I walk around the corner in New Zealand, Bill will be there. In Japan, when I meet the Prime Minister, Bill's going to be there for Yellowstone County. He mentioned he was at a committee. I asked Bill to come back and testify before a committee that has jurisdiction over the highway legislation. Bill, right away, got on the plane, came out to Washington, D.C., explained to the rest of the community just how important highway legislation is. I mean it. I don't know anybody who's more of a public servant and cares more for the people he serves than Bill Kennedy. Let's thank him again. Second, I know you know this, but just a couple of things to think about as we move toward November. First, the bad news. The bad news is that Citizens United has unleashed, you know this, a torrent, a flood, a deluge of conservative dollars across our country. The conservative groups have already publicly admitted to spending at least $25 million against President Obama in those key battleground states. And that's just the beginning. Believe me. In September and October, there's going to be a lot more. The Republicans just tend to pile on at the end. Beyond that, you know this fellow David Koch, one of the Koch brothers, who has publicly stated he is going to spend $5 billion of his own money in Montana against John Tester. $5 million of his own against John Tester. And that too is just the beginning. It's just, we are facing a huge, I said, torrent of conservative dollars. Our job is twofold. One is to raise enough resources so we can at least get our message out. We're not going to be able probably to match the other side exactly dollar for dollar, but there's so many dollars spent by the other side, we don't have to match the other side dollar for dollar. But we do have to raise a lot of funds and resources to be sure to get our message across and penetrate and get through all the political stuff that's going to be on television, going to be on all the social networking, newspapers, etc. It's so critical. We have to go the extra mile. Our big ace in the hole to prevail is turnout. The real key for us is making sure that Democrats turn out for these races. We need, John Tester needs, Steve Bullock needs probably about 30,000, at least 30,000 Democratic votes in Yellowstone County, at least. We can get 30,000 Democrats voting for John Tester, Steve Bullock, and Bill Kennedy, all our Democrats. We're in pretty good shape. Roughly, we don't register, as you know, but they're probably about 55% Republicans, Yellowstone, about 45% Democrats. We have to be sure our people get out there and vote. Yellowstone County is about 15% of the total statewide vote. Yellowstone County is about 15% of the total statewide vote. You are very significant. You are the key. In my view, we must win Yellowstone County.
Yes.
We must win Yellowstone County. And that means just doing the things we know we have to do. Absentee ballots will be mailed out October 9. And we have a great organization put together, make the phone calls, make sure the people we've identified as absentee Democrats get they vote for our candidates, etc. And there's been a backup group already put together to identify who those people are. It's really important. I've been down at Crow earlier this week in Northern Cheyenne, give the same message there to the tribal chairman and to the tribal councils. It's so key to get everybody to vote in Northern Cheyenne and Crow Nation, because that's going to make a big difference in the statewide races too. So the key, really, folks, is turnout, is going that extra mile, making those telephone calls, getting people to the polls, and making sure that we do get that result that's so important. Don't forget, I remember 6 years ago, you know better than I. You're here, I was here too in Billings. We were the last state to come in. It was for John. It was either it was Yellowstone County when the machines weren't working very well. We had to get that all straightened out. And Butte. Butte's always a little late. Thank God we're late. Butte can always kind of make up the difference of what they have to do. But it's I don't want to overstate this, be too repetitive, but this, folks, is turnout. That's what it is. And I needn't remind you about the stakes. Stakes are so high. In the Senate, there are about 11 states that are just on the margin. About 11. We go anyway. You know what they are. Our state, Missouri, Virginia, just to name a few. Stakes are also high in another respect. You probably noticed a couple days ago, the most conservative Tea Party Republican candidate won in Missouri and against Claire McCaskill. Now that's going to help Claire a little bit, but Missouri is a Republican state. So Claire's got more of a fighting chance now, but if she doesn't win, then not only do we lose Missouri, and that's a loss, there are 53 Democrats now in the Senate, but we get a real, unfortunate, very strong Tea Party person to replace Claire. After that, you've heard about this guy, Ted Cruz, who won the primary in Texas. He is one of the most conservative. He's very bright, clerk for a Supreme Court justice. And so, for those of us who've been hoping that this election is going to wash out a lot of the Tea Party, my judgment, frankly, is it's going to take a few years to wash out the Tea Party. It's not going to happen immediately. But if we can keep the Senate, Democratic Senate, then we'll be able to blunt a lot of potential Tea Party senators who may win. There's a good chance Claire, because she's got such a right-winger now as her opponent, might be able to change the dynamics in Missouri and win. But turning more to home, We know the race John has. It's really, really critical. In the top 2 or 3 in the nation. All the dollars, they're going to come into our state. And I'll just sum up by repeating myself. That is, it's turnout, folks. It's turnout. It's turnout in Yellowstone County. It's turnout all across our state. But especially turnout in Yellowstone County because 15% of the voters in our state are here. And we need at least 30. And it's 45-55 ratio. We need 30,000 votes statewide for John Martin to win. So we know what we have to do. It's written in scriptures. Much is expected from those to whom much has been given. Amen. Look what we've been given. We're so lucky in Montanans. The doors, the way of life that's so important to us, to our kids and our grandkids, and it's part of who we are as Democrats. We're inclusive. We're not exclusive. We like to solve problems. We want to work with people. We want solutions for the greater number of people in our state, and that means we got to work even harder to make that happen. It's work. It's work. But there's no greater reward than knowing we're working as hard as we can. We're doing the best we can for the greatest good for the most people in our state. And when we do, we're going to wake up victorious the day after election. Thanks everybody so much.